Hi guys, I'm Emo Kitten Forever, and welcome to my series Friendly Fridays, where we're going to take two different gods from two different pantheons and talk about how they'd be friends. If I'm looking down, I'm reading my notes because they're down here in my lap. But if you want to suggest a friendship, one, it doesn't have to be based on the same denomination, so you can have different gods be friends for different reasons. So you don't have to suggest like two trickster gods or two water gods. Just because they have the same denomination doesn't mean they automatically get along. Because, like for me, Freya, the goddess of love and beauty in Norse mythology, would absolutely detest Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty from Greek mythology, because Aphrodite is very vain. So it's like, it doesn't have to be a denomination. It could just be a whole thing about personality. To also kind of go into it, we have different types of gods and different types of friendship as well. Not everyone are besties, but there's different ways a friendship can work. So this also kind of goes into that. If you have a suggestion, I have no problem. Just remember to write their name, what pantheon they're from, and I will do the research and kind of go into it. But just remember, I have one big rule. No one likes Zeus. Don't suggest Zeus. I will ignore it because, honestly, no one likes Zeus. The Greeks don't even like Zeus. As well as, number two, the Greek and Romans are two different pantheons. So you can choose to suggest any of them. So they are technically two different people, just similar backstories. So, to get started, I'm going to give us a little bit of a treat by picking godly beasts, not gods. My first episode, we have Cerberus from Greek mythology and Hati and Sol from Norse. I know technically I am mixing a dog and two wolves, and I am technically making a trio for my first episode. I don't mind it, hopefully you don't, but I have valid reasons. Cerberus is the guard dog of Hades' underworld. He is a three-headed beast, and honestly, I just feel so bad because we only have two hands. We can't scratch all three heads at the same time. Meanwhile, Hati and Sol, their roles are to chase the sun and the moon. Hati chases the sun, Skull chases the moon, and the little fascinating fact I found out is during any eclipse, the ancient Norse people would actually start banging and making loud sounds to try and scare the wolves from swallowing the sun or the moon. Imagine if we did that during our last eclipse. But that's here nor there. Just to kind of go off, they're friends because, yes, they are canines. And they are pack animals. And they would have the best kind of pack. But one of the reasons I feel like they'd be the best of friends is we have Cerberus's three heads, and then Hati and Skull is two, and they could just go in between and nuzzle and cuddle, and that means all three heads are getting attention at the same time. Do not feel bad about my demonstration. I kind of feel awkward about it too. But I didn't bring out my plushies. So, that is my first episode where we kind of talk about the fact that, yes, they're dogs. And they would I feel like Cerberus would be allowed off leash on occasion, especially if Hercules is around. And Hati and Skull, they probably have moments where they're not chasing the sun and the moon. So it's like, I feel like they can have a fun game of chase the soul that escaped. And for anyone who's like, well, what about Fenrir? Fenrir is chained up. Sadly, he can't get out. he can't join in the doggy fun. But sadly, I wish there was more. Yes, I know most of my basis for this episode is their dogs. They're going to do doggy things. But that's kind of what I had written down because I absolutely loved the thought of this three-headed dog running aside two giant wolves. And it makes me happy to think about that. And yeah, because I didn't even want to make my first episode about, like, humanized gods. Because I feel like that's going to be also an argument. But you have no problem. If you don't agree with me, tell me in the comments.